Hey everyone, welcome back to Those Fake Nerds. I'm your host, Brian, and I wanted to read an article from Variety which reports on the results of a survey given to game developers at GDC. So let's go over to that. So this one is one third of US video game industry workers were laid off over the last 2 years, GDC study reveals by Variety and Jennifer Moss. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing her name correctly. One third of the U.S. video game industry workers say that they were laid off over the past 2 years, according to a new survey conducted by the organizers behind the newly revamped Game Developers Conference, or GDC. Based on responses of more than 2,300 gaming industry professionals, with surveys, quote, customized for each participant group, ensuring that developers, marketers, executives, investors, and others answered questions most relevant to them, close quote. The 2026 State of the Games Industry Report found that 32% of respondents in the U.S. were laid off in the past 2 years. The stat reduces to 28% when looking on a global scale. Half of those surveyed reported that their current or most recent employer had conducted layoffs in the past 12 months. Per the report, those at AAA studios were highly likely to have experienced layoffs at their companies. Two-thirds of respondents at AAA studios said that their companies had layoffs. One-third of people working at indie studios reported the same. The team also surveyed a small group of game educators and students to capture a snapshot of the challenges facing the next generation. The report, which can be downloaded for free, provides the latest data and analysis on layoffs, generative AI adoption and sentiment unionization efforts, development platforms and priorities, business pressures, emerging trends, and more. Key insights from the reports are below. The survey also found that 82% of U.S. based respondents supported the unionization of the game industry workers, with 5% opposed and 13% unsure. According to the results, support was higher among workers earning $200,000 per year, 87%, those who have been laid off in the past 2 years, 88%, and people younger than 45, 86%. No respondents aged 18 to 24 were opposed to unionization. The release of the new State of the Industry report comes ahead of the GDC Festival of Games, which will run March 9th through the 13th in San Francisco. This year's the organizers behind the Game Developers Conference GDC have reworked the event into the renamed festival that will focus on a larger portion of the game industry with additional tracks of programming. So, obviously, that's not great when the industry has become so volatile that you can't really expect to have a job for the foreseeable future, or if you're in a job, you're almost expecting to be laid off. And I think, there's a lot behind this. The article itself pointed out that generative AI certainly has a big part in it, but I also think that generative AI outside of the gaming industry has a part in it, in that it's making everything so expensive. So, gamers are less likely to upgrade their consoles. I mean, the Series S, which I love, I have it. I think it's a great console. I got it for like $250 or something a few years ago when Amazon was running a deal. And I was like, wow, this is a great price for what it is. It's like $450 right now. Totally not worth it. And realistically, we're not going to be seeing anything go down in price. So gamers are not going to be buying as many games, as many consoles, and it's going to cause the game industry to shrink. Also, a few years ago, COVID happened, and in the height of the pandemic, gaming grew. People are at home. They didn't have anything else better to do, so they started playing video games. Now they're going back to work, they're going outside, they're living their lives, and they're less likely to buy games. So that will cause the industry to shrink a little bit more, as well as just general people not doing great because the economy's not doing great. Video games are something that you only really invest in, unless it's your job, when things are going good and you have a lot of disposable income. And not everyone is having a lot of disposable income right now. I know it's very difficult to find a job, especially if you're a tech worker, who also, there's been tons of layoffs for tech workers and they're having trouble finding another job. I mean, I worked in tech. I got laid off. I've been having a lot of trouble finding a new job. So I'm making YouTube videos and trying to make it work here. because what else am I going to do? But I certainly have scaled back my video game purchasing habits because I don't have it like that right now. And I think that's a lot of people in the same position. They brought up unionization being very popular. The problem is, as we saw with Ubisoft just this week, a lot of people got laid off. And a lot of those people were part of the union. And yes, it's harder to get laid off when you're part of a union, but if things aren't going well, it doesn't matter if you're part of a union or not. You're still going to get laid off. Granted, I do think it's good to be a part of a union if you can be part of one, but it doesn't ensure that you're not going to get laid off, especially when the companies aren't doing well. So, a lot to think about. Very interesting article from Variety and survey from GDC. What are your thoughts on it? Are you kind of in agreement with me that all these factors are causing it to shrink? Just let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for checking this one out. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We have new videos coming out all the time here on the channel, as well as shorts. And check out our other channels, which include Those Fake Nerds for video game and pop culture essays, and our sports channel, Wicked Good Sports, for sports news, our Better Radio channel, which hosts all of our podcasts, and our news channel, History is Wicked, which we cover cryptids, urban legends, and weird history stories. Again, thank you so much for checking this one out, and I will see you in the next one.